Welcome to CASA Pitzer. My name is Pitzer. I am the director of CASA. I'm also associate professor of urban studies, and I'll be sharing CASA with you today. So this is a beautiful historic building. As you can see, take a look around. You'll see our mission statement and all the folks that we work with here at CASA. This is where we have classes with our students and where we have meetings and gatherings for organizations. As you come this way, you'll notice that we have an art gallery up on the wall here. Arts Area is one of our community partners, and they help support artists in the region. They're trying to build up regional equity for artists in this area and contribute to the creative industry in this area, especially for those artists who are often left behind because of marginalization in the community. So this is an exhibit we have going on right now about peaceful protests, using quilts as a way to think about different political issues. So you can take a look at some of the art that's here now. We have spaces for community partners to hold office. So we have a number of organizations that make this their home. And over here you can see the office space for Work of the YA, Youth Mentoring Action Network. We have Malo, and we also have Starting Over. And they have permanent office space here, which they use, and this whole space can also be used for anyone in the community that would like to hold a justice-oriented or community-building event. CASA Pitzer stands for Critical Action and Social Advocacy. It is both an academic program of Pitzer College as well as a community space here in downtown Ontario. This program was founded in 1998 by Dr. Lourdes Arguelles and Dr. Alan Jones as a way to bridge and connect the communities in the surrounding areas of the Claremont colleges through collaboration and social change movement organization, community-based research, organizing, and service. This program has evolved from 22 years ago when it was called the Pitzer Ontario program to today. We are housed here in this beautiful space where community organizations have offices, hold events, trainings, workshops, and much justice-oriented community building takes place in these spaces. We also have our classes here. Students in this program take 2 classes together. The Critical Community Studies CASA 101 class, which explores issues of regional equity, what our organizations and community members in this area are negotiating in terms of incarceration, education, food justice, arts and culture, labor and organizing, and all sorts of different social problems, as well as the solutions, the assets and strengths of the communities that fight and rise up against these issues. And luckily we get to collaborate with a number of them. We have a list here of our core community partners: Work of the YA, the Inland Coalition for Community Justice, Immigrant Justice, Inland Empire, Youth Collective, and many more, as you can see. All of these organizations work on different social justice issues, and we have the opportunity to collaborate with them on longitudinal, community-based participatory action research through these classes. That leads me to the second class of the program, which is Research Methods for Community Change, where students learn how to do surveys and interviews and focus groups and explore the lived experiences and stories of those on the ground in the community who face issues of injustice, as well as come up with their own solutions and projects for social change. We are delighted to work in partnership with our organizations and the community here to advance social justice and see our social responsibility towards that end from the point of view of Pitzer College, as well as students and collaborators with those leaders in this community. Thank you so much for joining us in House of Pitzer.
Wow, look at this picture.
Hey everyone, this is Arthur from Puerto del Valle, just getting done with a pretty busy, dusty day. So apologies for the dust all over the face. We're here, I'm here at one of the Puerto del Valle sites, and I just wanted to introduce you to some of the stuff that we do with Puerto del Valle. If you get a chance to work with us as an intern this semester, even though you won't be able to be here with us, we're really excited for the opportunity to work together and some of the things that we have going on, many things, but above all, we are bringing people together to grow their own food, and through doing that, create sustainable community health and empowerment. We are currently in the process of operating and or developing 7 different sites across the Inland Valley region, which includes San Bernardino counties and Riverside counties. We are working right now on really addressing 3 major crises. One, of course, is the health crisis that we are facing, of course, due to COVID-19, but really COVID-19 just illuminates the pre-existing health disparities and inequities, and growing your own food and growing food in communities that don't always have access to healthy food is part of addressing a health crisis. And when people are healthy, they can really participate more, contribute more to their own communities, really uplift themselves, their families, and communities. So it's part of that. We are addressing an economic issue where 1 in 3 families in the Inland Empire do not make enough to make ends meet and are having to choose between rent, paying the electricity, school, medical bills, and food. And so when people can grow their own food, it helps with some of those bills, but also we're working to create and empower people to be able to have their own farming operations, work as farmers, work growing food, and taking care of the land in their community. And last but not least, maybe a little bit less apparent, but certainly out there, is the environmental crisis, the one that's affecting and changing our entire climate. We have wildfires raging right now. There was fires last year in our area, and it's 104 degrees right now. So we're addressing this issue as well by working to put carbon back into the soil, working to be more water efficient, composting, growing in sustainable and quote-unquote beyond organic ways, definitely not using pesticides or chemicals, but growing in ways that build the soil. And as we address these issues in a holistic way, we're also addressing much deeper issues of equity, in the sense that we're working to create access to land, which is such a crucial issue, given that we live in a occupier, settler, imperialist nation that continues to attempt to dominate all around the world and is sitting on native land, is sitting on land that formerly was part of Mexico, etc. And so this idea of land back, or access to land for those most affected by climate and environmental racism, economic and health racism and disparities, is a big passion of mine at the very least, and something that we're working towards holistically by creating access to land, building partnerships, connecting people to land, training folks, supporting folks and training each other. Frankly, the skills are already there, and then addressing particularly these 3 issues of economy, health, and environment. And I firmly believe that if we can create livelihoods that are connected to the land, connected to the health and wellness of community, and also build a flourishing economy by taking care of the land, by putting carbon back in the soil, by growing food for yourself and for your community, by taking care of each other, if we can grow this economy of care, livelihoods that are based on environmental sustainability, land stewardship, etc., then we can actually make a long-lasting transformation and transition to a sustainable and equitable, egalitarian, just future. So Puerto del Valle is about that. It's never easy. It's every day is a challenge, and we could use a lot of support to work on these particular issues. If you end up working with us, some of the things you might do would be supporting some of our ongoing programs digitally, helping us to really keep track of all of the things that we're doing, information, helping us to tell stories to better identify the gains that we're making, the potential we have to do more, creating media, helping to translate, showing up to meetings or doing interviews with community members that can be published on our website. Anything right now that you can do to be part of this, or even helping us to cover and create data that's really going to show all of the benefits of what we're doing, what we're proposing to do in our region, and help us to really show that we are a model for the rest of California and the rest of the United States, if not the world. Thank you so much. I am currently driving, that's why you might see me looking side to side, so I apologize for that. And I have not shaved since quarantine, so hope you enjoy the beard. It's a good dust trap. I'm hoping to grow it long enough that I can use it as a face mask, so wish me luck. Hope to get to meet some of you and hope you're well. Stay safe and we'll be in touch. Bye.
What can the students help with this semester?
What kind?
What can they help with this semester?
¿Dónde nos pueden ayudar?
Sí, pero van a estar en sus
propias casas.
Por Zoom, ¿cómo se pueden ayudar?
This is my challenge.
Proyectos de gap certification o algo así, o no sé.
I think this semester they make the interviews for the community, make the surveys. What is your help? What help you receive with Huerta del Valle, and what you like in the future help to you. In this moment, what you need to Huerta del Valle make for you, for example, you know. And this, for this, I have the contacts for the members in the community, and I give it and say that this is the call to courtesy. I call because I have three questions. If you can give me 5 minutes, and maybe you can get $5 for products, and you can make the survey, and you can get the interview with the video, the Zoom video. Say, I don't know if you can share what do you think, or what is your, in this 1 year or 2 years or 6, what is your benefits with Huerta del Valle. I think this is very good because there has more empower in Huerta del Valle. They're taking more care in the area for Huerta del Valle. Take more support with this resource, with this investigation, and the members in the community, and say, oh, there's a chini this, okay, and what resource I have, or where is a resource for can bring to this, or what is the priority in the members in the community.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Lalofi Soakai. My organization is a Pacific Islander-led nonprofit called Malo, Motivating Action Leadership Opportunity. Malo actually means thank you in the Tongan language. We have been in the Ontario area since the 1970s, so we wanted to create awareness and just helping people get to know our culture a little better. We've been in the area for so long that we're still kind of not recognized as a cultural group, even in the area, or just just so you know, the Tongan is a subgroup of the Pacific Islanders, but the work that we do is mostly around preserving culture, and now we're doing some advocating. We're doing some census work, we're doing some COVID response type work, just trying to be a support anywhere we can be in Ontario, starting in Ontario, but now reaching all around Inland Empire.
And how did you come to like create this organization? I mean, you've been here for so long, and how did that come about for you?
I was actually working on the last of my master's program, my capstone project, and the question that was asked to me was, what kind of change do you want to see in the world? And for me, it was in my community. It was in my community. So with that, we wanted to share culture. So since the question I was asking people is, why, like, you know, what do you want people to know about you? And a lot of people said they just want to know about us. People know of us, but they don't know about us. So we then decided to go and create this big cultural educational showcase where the kids kind of showcase what they learned. But mostly because we've been in the shadows for so long that it's time for us to, you know, elevate and use our voices to just bring some awareness to, you know, issues that we have, as well as making sure that our kids feel confident in them as Tongan Americans, as well as our elders being able to share culture with them. Mm-hmm. Actually host meetings. So in those meetings, we practice our language. We do some reading, we do some singing, and then they learn some cultural performances, as well as we learn more about our culture. So we have different traditions and different like things that we have to wear, and we basically just share with the kids like how it was made, share with them, like let them touch the stuff that they're actually wearing, and kind of get a better understanding of like why they have to wear certain things, and why there's traditions around it, and why you have to be respectful around certain things. When I work with the Claremont students, it's been since my son was like in my arms. He'd come to the meetings with me, but I love working with them because they're always obviously super duper intelligent, but then there's this deeper connection that's created as they that just happens as, you know, they ask questions about our culture, and then they get to meet our kids, and then some of the kids actually will see themselves in some of the kids in some of the cultural things that they've had to hide, almost. I'm not hide, but didn't really get to embrace so much. So in our kids, they get to see how they're so proud of it, and so they're able to see that, you know, in themselves, they can see, you know, culturally there are these strengths within them that they haven't really explored, but through working together, we're able to see these within each other. And so it's kind of like this big circle of just finding strength in one another through just understanding self. Yeah.
And what would be your hope for your work going forward, and also your collaboration with the college students and with CASA Space? Like, what would be your hopes and dreams as you move ahead?
My hope and dreams is just to keep the collaboration, keep the partnership, because in the end, we love that the kids can go on these campuses or even make these connections and see that, you know, this could be them one day. And if there's these connections that are made, they can pretty much say, you know, I'm going to come back. Like my daughter often says she wants to be these tutors that she's, you know, interacting with. Even they get sad when they leave, but it's just like they become role models, and then it's even though the students become role models to the kids have actually impacted the students as well. So the partnership is really important. And then, you know, in what we do, we preserve culture, but we also are advocating, but we also do a lot of promoting higher education. So it's really important that the kids go to the campuses and feel and understand that they belong on these campuses just as much as anybody else. And so it's really good for them to see that it's not beyond their reach, you know, so yeah.
Wonderful. Can you teach us how to say justice in Tongan language?
Justice.
Or love, or community?
Ofa. Ofa is love. So yeah, you just say ofa, and you could feel it. Yeah. So yeah, ofa is our main word for that, and that's just like, that just means everything. Because as soon as you know ofa, then you know, oh, that person knows the word ofa, not coming at me with the bad word, but coming at me with the word ofa. Then let's be respectful. Let's let's calm it down. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hi, welcome. My name is Nahaira Valdovinos. I am the Youth Engagement Coordinator for the IYC, so the Inland Empire Immigrant Youth Collective. But I'm also an IE resident for over 20 years. I was born in Mexico as well, and have been residing here, again, for over 20 years. So I raised and bred. So have a lot of love for the IE, and I think that's why I continue to try to help the folks in the community thrive through providing various resources in the position that I am now as a youth engagement coordinator of the IYC. So it's been a blessing to be in this position, like I said, because IYC was, from the establishment in 2010, a space that welcomed all types of undocumented youth, because it was created by women of color, queer women of color, who just came together to build community and share their thoughts, their feelings about being undocumented, as well as what resources they need to thrive. So that's kind of was embedded in, or is embedded in, our mission. Our mission statement does, you know, really emphasize that we are here to create a space for all undocumented youth to be able to thrive and to pursue all sorts of youth goals, either professional, personal, and all of that regardless of their undocumented status, as well as we acknowledge that there's other intersections that they inhabit, and so we provide the space as well as resources for them to thrive as individuals. So again, we're able to do this and provide this safe space and to develop these youth and to support them and allow them to thrive as individuals by really focusing on building community with one another, as well as you know, providing some healing opportunities, whether that's in a healing circle or a you know, guided meditation or some art. You know, we try to really delve deep into what brings us joy, you know, because we know that being undocumented does you know, have a lot of challenges emotionally, and that really puts a lot of stress on us physically. So we try to really, again, provide a space that is welcoming and embracing of everything that you're bringing with you. So, and some of the work that we are working on right now, as you know, and I want to put a disclaimer out that some of our work does, you know, change, and it does adapt to our membership that comes to us, and that, you know, makes up our space. So this time around, we are embarking in a Daca project. So because of the recent news regarding Daca, about, you know, the Supreme Court ruling, as well as the DHS memo in regards to, you know, the halting of initial application, regardless, the fact is that, you know, we know that we are putting pressure on certain individuals, and we know that come election time, we might be working under a different administration. So that's why we're continuing with our Daca action plan, and continuing with renewals, as well as prepping for initial application, because we're hoping that there is a window where we can submit Daca initial applications and really, you know, provide that relief for some for undocumented youth who have been locked out of the Daca program. So that's one project, and we are on phase 1 of that project. We are ultimately training our volunteers who are undocumented youth, who are going to do the eligibility screening as well as the appointment setting to basically flow them into either getting seen by a lawyer, one of our partners, or getting seen by getting resources from their school that they belong to. So, so if a student belongs to UCR, we would connect them to their UCR resources. Again, this is all. This project is meant to. Our overall goal of this project is to connect undocumented youth to resources, and again, to help them thrive and empower them as well. So this project is starting on August 24th with Daca info sessions that is being led by PH Dreamers. And from then on, we'll continue this work until hopefully until October, depending on the need and our capacity as well. So that's one project, but we also have another project coming up, our Docu Health Conference. We do this every year. So we're gonna work on our Docu Health Conference, and that's gonna begin, we're hoping to have it around come November time, around that time, we're still up on the fence. Just we're still doing a lot of technical, a lot of just logistical work to look around, like how we're going to do it, you know, virtual, how we're going to connect folks to medical resources, as well as a confidentiality and like the sustainability of you know, being seen and continue to be seen, as well as any tech gaps, knowledge. I know the ability, we are working with older gen undocumented folks in regards to Docu Health Conference. So tech accessibility or tech knowledge is very limited. So we're still working around that, how we can provide some, like, you know, like Facebook Live DIYs or how-tos. So that's one aspect where we're hoping that a Pitzer intern can support in. We've known Pitzer interns have worked with us in various projects similar to this, and those are huge projects, and we're like IYC, I would describe us as a little monster who keeps pushing regardless of how, you know, how much staff or how much capacity we have. So right now we are pretty tight on capacity, but we still want to continue to provide these resources because we know how important it is for our community members to have them, especially right now with this public health crisis that we're going through, as well as financial health crisis. People need these resources, and whether it's Daca resources that can, you know, we're providing legal and financial support, as well as guidance about, you know, what documents you need to provide. And then on Docu Health, where it's more of like providing resources around the health, as well as how to advocate for yourself when you're speaking to a doctor, and how to navigate that system. So these are resources that are critical. So we want to continue to provide them. So we really are hoping to have an intern join us, so that they can, you know, help directly support the undocumented community of the IE. And also, I think it would be really an awesome opportunity to, as a Pitzer student, if you are in the IE area, to be able to connect with the community of the IE, to really get like a bigger idea and a bigger picture of who makes up the IE and all the beautiful colors, and that the community, the undocumented community, and the various other communities that make up the IE, how they make this area just, I don't know, flourish. And for me, it makes me feel like home. And so if you are going to be a Pitzer intern, even though I know it's a little bit different times that we're working in, considering that most of you are going to be working remotely. But like I said, it's kind of like, I think going digital is an opportunity to still connect with those community members and still kind of feel like you're in the IE, even though you're at home. But that's kind of why we want to come on board with the IYC, is to learn as to what the IE community needs and who they are, in order to support your work, as well as, you know, you as your own personal development. Because what I've learned in this position is that each person, whoever you meet, has a story that is uniquely theirs, and that's their power. And being able to hear those stories is an honor, and it's really humbling to just hear the struggles, the challenges, and also the triumphs that they've gone through. And it's just it's hard to explain, and we really have to be there and do the work and be on the ground, or in this case kind of on the ground but virtually, to be able to get a taste of what organizing is, because organizing is very much personal work, and you really, like I said, have to be in contact, hear those stories, really listen, and hear what's happening, what we need, what the community needs, and what they want. And that makes so much of a difference in a person's life. I know for my own self, when I was younger and still kind of getting to know and kind of coming to terms with my status, being able to share what I was going through with other like-minded folks, whether they had the same experiences or not, because we know that the undocumented immigrant community is very, there's a lot of variety of different scenarios and how you can become undocumented or what you experience. So, yeah, it's a very, being able to share my story was very much a healing opportunity, as well as very empowering to know that I had a safety net, a community to support me, even though I might be fearful about, being undocumented, about being deported, or about being, not having access to medical resources, or et cetera, et cetera. Like, there's so much you can name, but just knowing that you have someone to support you, that's kind of the big, I guess, payout about doing this sort of work is the connection and the bond that you build. And that's why I do the work, and that's why I invite you to do the work as well and to join the team. We are a small team, but very powerful, and very much a welcoming team that is just ready to support you at whatever levels you are, because we know that not everyone comes knowing what to do as an organizer. I know myself, I'm still learning, but I hope you all can join us and be a part of the IYC team.
Welcome incoming CASA Pitzer students. My name is Kate Arcade Maldonado. I work with the Youth Mentoring Action Network as the Director of Training and Outreach. Welcome to the semester. We hope to have a couple of you come and join us and work with us on the ground. Unfortunately, through Zoom during this pandemic and everything, but still working with us nonetheless to mentor young folks and leverage the power of mentoring for young folks in our region, specifically the Inland Empire. So as I said, my name is Kate Arcade. Either one is fine. I actually started as a CASA Pitzer student back when it was called Pitzer in Ontario. Went through it as a student, did my research through the program, and actually worked as the CASA Pitzer program coordinator and program administrator for 3 years under Dr. Tessa Hicks Peterson, your professor for the semester, and ended up with a job at the Youth Mentoring Action Network, and started working with Dr. Torwiesen Surden, our executive director and co-founder of the organization. A little bit about EMON, or the Youth Mentoring Action Network, is that we started in 2007. It was created by 2 veteran teachers in the Inland Empire working at a local high school. They decided to put together a mentoring program that unfortunately failed, and through those failures, they were able to piece together what needs to happen and what is important and critical in youth development work. So working with young folks in ways that really do address the race, ethnicities, genders, sexualities, abilities of our students, and really use critical frameworks and critical thought and engagement in how to better the mentoring relationship and really meet students where they're at, and leveraging that power, as I mentioned before, to really get change done in our region, to get change done within a person's life, not just the protege or the mentee, but also in the mentor as well. So that's just a little bit about us. We do predominantly serve the Inland Empire, so San Bernardino and Riverside counties, one of the largest regions, and San Bernardino being one of the largest counties in the country. Counties that are impacted deeply by certain isms and class issues, environmental injustice, immigration, all the things that CASA Pitzer really tries to address and engage on. Pretty much the Inland Empire has it. But yet at the same time, folks in the Inland Empire, communities, the populations we engage with are incredibly resilient, incredibly bright, beautiful, and capable communities that really are just looking for support systems and operators within the Inland Empire to really start to change things and move things forward for young folks and for anybody really in our surrounding communities. So so why do we want to work with student interns? The important thing for us is that we get to engage with amazing college students that come from the Claremont colleges. We've had numerous amazing additions to our team at Iman throughout the past semesters with amazing Pitzer College, Pomona College, Scripps, CMC folks, you name it. And so we really enjoy having student interns because, once again, you all provide important perspective and important, thoughts as it pertains to engaging with young folks and everything. And so it's great to have a sort of community within our own organization that can really meet and determine needs of our young folks and take on different considerations. So it's always great to have different perspectives on our team when it comes to youth development. So you all can really help Iman this coming semester by we have a few major programming and organizational efforts that we're really trying to muscle through during this COVID-19 pandemic, but also had just been planning to do and have been doing ongoing as our work here in the IE. But first and foremost is our college application bootcamp that is starting up in the fall. So working with students on how to do critical and really deeper engagement level sort of college access work. So really just thinking about your identity in college systems and in college institutions and how to best support young folks and make the right decisions for the schools that they want to and should be applying to. So working on that is going to be a major lift for this semester, and you'd be working with Isabella Chavez, who is our Director of Programs at the Youth Mentoring Action Network. So that's one. The second is our Black Girls in Power programming. So if you do identify as a Black young person and would enjoy working on that programming effort, that would be great. Our founder and executive director is a Black woman, and really prides herself in this work because of the fact that we need more support systems specifically for Black communities, especially in the Inland Empire. So our Black Girls in Power work focuses on mental health, wellness, college access, networking opportunities, focused and targeted on Black young girls and women in our region, and also connecting Black mentors and Black women to these younger populations of Black identifying folks and really supporting them in this work around youth development. So that's the second. Third is we're doing our IE Rise virtual summit this semester. So IE Rise is part of this sort of regional collaborative effort of a bunch of different nonprofits in our area to really focus change-driven efforts in our region. And so Iman is leading the youth capacity building and youth engagement piece of this work. So once again, under Isabella Chavez, you would be working with youth in different steering committees to piece things together to really take that conference to the next level and actually get the conference to happen in September. So a lot of things are happening pretty heavily within September, but we will be doing ongoing things and ongoing engagement throughout the semester. Another thing to just throw in there, I myself engage with numerous organizations across the country and within our region around training and how to properly prepare youth development professionals or other folks getting into the youth development field on how to engage young folks, how to do that critically, how to do that compassionately, empathetically, and using the frameworks that have been created and written by our founder and executive director. So those are the really big things. This work is super inspiring to do. We engage with amazing young folks, amazing organizations, organizers, and folks that are really have a stake in lifting up young folks within our region. So we hope to have you in the fall. Please contact myself or Isabella Chavez, your CASA Pitzer coordinator and administrator. We'll definitely connect you with us when the time comes, and good luck with everything, and hope you all are staying safe. Take care.
Hi, welcome to Starting Over Inc. Here we provide transitional housing and reentry services for people who find it necessary in their lives to start over. We provide a warm, safe, structured environment with support services to help people navigate to reach the goals that they have that they've set for themselves. We do provide case management and peer support, but we also have volunteers who come in and assist us and assist our guests in reaching the goals that they've set for themselves. We also do housing justice. We do work around housing justice, advocacy, and to help eliminate discrimination, especially for formerly incarcerated people around housing and unemployment. Here at Starting Over, we do have a couple of projects. One of our projects is Riverside, All of Us or None. Riverside, All of Us or None is a group of formerly incarcerated people who are fighting to restore the civil and human rights of formerly incarcerated people. We do that through advocacy and policy work, such as Ban the Box, Free the Vote. It is vitally important that we do this work, as the laws, the criminal justice system are set up for people to fail and do not help people. It does not help people to reach goals that they set for themselves. So we are out advocating, and we also have what we call Participatory Defense, which that helps family members navigate the criminal justice system on behalf of their loved one. One of the things that we do is we help them put together a social bio packet, which gives the judge something else to look at other than their rap sheet. So, and we're also just there to be supportive to the family during this time. Another project that we have is called FREE, Family Reunification, Equity, and Empowerment. FREE is a project that is designed to advocate and do policy work in regards to the child protective system. As we all know, that the child protective system is not a good system, and many families face family separation. So we're about family reunification. And so we advocate for policy changes. We support the parents as they're going through this nightmare, and we help guide them for better results. So we would really like to have you guys come and join us and work with us on some of our projects. We're always out in the community. We're currently doing protests for Riverside, All of Us or None, around the treatment of people who are currently incarcerated during the pandemic. And we are a great place to get an opportunity to experience a lot of different aspects of criminal and social justice reform. So we hope to hear from you and see you soon. Thank you.
Hi, Pitzer family and community. My name is Lizeth Mendoza, and I am the policy manager with Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice, also known as ICIJ. And I welcome you to your new semester, to this new journey that we are all about to start. I know that it's been tough and that so many changes have happened, but we are grateful to work with you all again. In my time with ICIJ, it's been a year and a half now that I've been able to work with the Pitzer community, and I am grateful week after week being able to learn from the students, the professors, and then in general, this community engagement work that we all do together. And so to tell you a little bit more about ICIJ, this regional coalition, which covers 2 different counties, San Bernardino and Riverside County, some of the biggest in the state and in the country. We started back in 2006, so about 14 years now that we've been working together for immigrants' rights in the Inland Empire. And so now with 50 or more partners throughout the region from diverse backgrounds, from different fights, we have joined and become a lot more strong in this region and become an organization that's more recognized and where power is being built on a constant basis. And so part of our efforts when we first started was to come together to address the raids and operations that Immigration Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE, started back in 2006 in the area of the Coachella Valley, about an hour from where Pitzer, about actually 2.5 hours from where Pitzer is at. And so with that, folks came together to respond rapidly against those raids, try to figure out a community hotline where people could call to report where ICE was at, what they were doing, to report their tactics, and also report any enforcement they were doing with police at the time. But through the years, because of policy changes regionally and statewide, we've been able to disband a lot of those efforts that police enforcement officers and these national, federal agencies have been doing. We still have a lot of issues with them where it's maybe a little bit more hidden now, but we know that operations continue to happen and where ICE continues to abuse their power, as well as law enforcement agencies. And so today, as much as of the work that we do is to abolish ICE, as you've probably seen trending in the news media or in your social media outlets, we are continuing to do that in different ways. But one of the biggest ways is to ensure that we shut down the biggest and deadliest detention center, which is called the Adelanto ICE Processing Center in the city of Adelanto, which is about an hour away from Pitzer. And we're doing a lot of great work there through our partners and through our coordinator, coordinator, who is Lisbeth Ablin, who currently is on maternity leave. So our friend Kimberly Galindo will be continuing to lead that work in Adelanto specifically and remotely now due to COVID. But there's a lot of great work happening there and almost an action every week that we can include you in as student interns with us. But where we mainly need support, where we're trying to level up and learn a lot of the great work that has been happening with the Adelanto Detention Center. We want to also build some kind of committee and structure to ensure that our street vendor community, the folks that sell food, who literally bring fruits to communities that are food deserts, like cities of San Bernardino and Riverside, we want to ensure that these vendors are respected, that they're seen as part of the informal economy that's trying to become part of this formal economy, that they are seen as folks that also need recovery efforts, not just restaurants, not just the corporations who are making a lot more profits than these small entrepreneurs, which we call street vendors. And so that's the support where we want to continue to build the research, create the narrative, so build small fundraisers to support vendors who are on their last dollars, last cents to make ends meet for their families. And so that really picked up speed in mid-June when we started assuming that the city would fundraise off of vendors who still to this day struggle to get their permits or that are struggling to meet all the county and statewide requirements. And so as they work to be compliant with all those requirements, we are pushing to see what funding we could get for them. If there's specific places throughout the city that are, again, food deserts or vacant lots, public spaces that are not being used that could possibly be repurposed for street vending. And so we're in that process right now. And so bringing you all on board would really get us closer to that end goal, would allow us to really pressure the city to look at this from an education first perspective instead of enforcement and bogging or really criminalizing street vendors by ticketing and citing them left and right for even the smallest violation, if you will. And so we're in that process. We're grateful to be here again, and to really now be working more hand in hand with street vendors. And so we encourage you all to join us if you can this semester, to be part of this effort, to really fight for immigrant rights in our region, and to build a new narrative and a new sense of belonging to recent immigrants and old-time immigrants in the region. And so we thank you again, and we hope to work with you.
Thank you for your interest in learning more about the Arts Area. The Arts Area is a 501c3 nonprofit charitable corporation that was founded in July of 2016. Its mission is to provide professional development, civic advocacy, resource support, and fiscal sponsorship for the creative industries of the Inland Empire of Southern California, serving San Bernardino, Riverside, and East Los Angeles counties. My name is John Machado. I am the founder and the CEO of the Arts Area and serve as the president of their board of directors. I'm also a full-time professor at Chaffey College, teaching art history and arts management. I'm extremely blessed and proud to work with a wonderful board of directors with diverse skills and experience and a great dedication to support the arts in our region. The Arts Area envisions an economically viable, equitable, and creative arts community that is an invaluable resource to students, artists, and the community at large. This is our long-term commitment to the future of our creative community. A few of our goals focus on creating a local education and economic hub for the creative industries to fulfill unmet needs in the region, to promote equitable economic development through building professional networks and business skills within the creative industries, to provide the economic structure for acquiring careers in the creative industries and to support a growing creative economy, to foster the talent and passion of artists, organizations, and businesses who lack pathways to build upon their skills to create an economically viable future in the region, and to partner with community leaders in underserved communities to provide arts education for all students and build bridges to attending college. Some of the ways that we are achieving this is through the development of the Inland Empire Arts Directory. This is a free service that any students, organizations, educational institutions, and creative industry businesses can join and promote their creative works and services. Associated with that is the Inland Empire Arts Calendar. And all these services can be accessed through our website, theartsarea.org, or directly through their individual website domains. We are also currently working on expanding our educational resources and services for arts education and developing a Creative Opportunities Jobs Board. The Arts Area is very excited to have received a California Arts Council Organizational Development Grant for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021 to hire professional design consultant Janae Jernigan to improve and expand the functionality and user experience of those services on our website. Janae has broad experience in working for companies such as Hulu and Airbnb, so we're very excited to see how she will develop our website and access to our services over this coming year. Through our wonderful community partnership with CASA Pitzer, we are able to put on a series of exhibitions focused on issues of social justice, equity, and identity within their space on Euclid Avenue in Ontario. Here you can see a few of the exhibitions that have been held in that space. Through recent internships with Pitzer College and Claremont Graduate University, we have also been able to move forward on our collection of data about access to the arts in our region and to begin the process of creating resources to advocate for expanded access to the arts and to assist in that process of developing and funding programming in the arts. And this is an area that we're excited to continue to work with student interns to develop. A large part of our services is also providing fiscal sponsorship. The Arts Area expands the support of the arts in the inland region through the fiscal sponsorship of innovative creative arts projects. These sponsored projects engage in equitable representation and access to the arts through various means across our region. I'm going to introduce you to a few of our comprehensive fiscal sponsorship programs. We also provide pre-approved grant relationship fiscal sponsorships, and we are currently working on technical assistance, which provides business services for other nonprofits. So our three current fiscal sponsored projects are Curious Publishing, the Artlands, and the Print Pomona Art Book Fair. Curious Publishing produces a quarterly magazine highlighting the arts of our inland region called Curious Magazine. Also produces a biannual journal of culture called A Beam, and publishes art books for independent artists. In the city of Redlands, we have our sponsored project, The Artlands, which is a gallery on Vine Street in downtown Redlands that also provides other community services of workshops and outreach in the community. Our third project, the Print Art Book Fair, was scheduled to happen in March. It was a 3-day book fair focused on our inland region that was going to be held at the Millard Sheets Art Center at the Fairplex. 3 days before the event was to open was when COVID-19 hit and the Fairplex was closed down. So we're currently in the process of finding when we'll be able to reschedule this event. So these are just some highlights on the work of the arts area and how we support educational, economic, and equitable development of the arts in our inland region of Southern California. If you have any questions, please contact me at john@theartsarea.org. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shahari Arkowski, and I'm the director of the Warehouse Worker Resource Center. We're an organization based in Ontario dedicated to improving the working conditions and lives of warehouse workers and logistics workers in Southern California through education, advocacy, and action. We founded the organization about 10 years ago in focusing on the subcontracted non-union workers in the warehouse sector, one of the biggest employers in our region. We've been, over the last 10 years, focused on improving conditions in the supply chains of companies like Walmart and Amazon. Our work has included directly working with workers, organizing them to improve their conditions, both in terms of health and safety, getting workers to delegate their bosses to get them to change their working conditions, improving issues around machinery, issues around training, issues around pace of work. And then also potentially bringing in Cal OSHA to investigate and cite employers who refuse to have good conditions, but also issues around wages, focusing on improving conditions around wage theft, helping and supporting workers to demand their full wage, but also to potentially file lawsuits, file claims with the state around those issues, and also issues around subcontracting. A lot of the workers in this warehouse industry are employed through staffing agencies, so calling on employers to directly hire people, give them full-time employment and long-term path to career. So those are some of the things that we do at Warehouse Worker Resource Center. We have an organizing department, we have a legal department, we also have a public policy department that focuses on passing bills at the local and state level that improve working conditions. Some of the things we've done is pass a bill to require that indoor employers have a standard around heat to make sure that indoor employers that don't have air conditioning provide extra breaks and that sort of thing. We're moving a bill this year around making sure that workers at warehouses like Amazon have protection when they go for a bathroom break, that they're not, when they're off on break, losing their time around their quotas. So we do a lot of work around those kinds of issues. Our focus right now is primarily Amazon, biggest private employer in our region, the Inland Empire, and the second biggest private employer in the country now, and a company that's rapidly dominating our region in the period post-COVID. We've seen as Amazon is again rapidly growing, taking over a lot of parts of the business that they've been wanting to get into. Amazon has grown, in the last 6 months more than they expected to for the next 5 years, because so much of business has gone online and because so many of their competitors have gone out of business. And so as a dominant employer in our region, a dominant player in the economy, we're looking at Amazon as a company that if we can make a force to change their practices and improve their practices, it can make things better for everyone. We've been working with folks from Pitzer for, I think since the beginning for about 10 years. We've worked on and off with folks engaged with and had folks intern with us over the years doing various different projects. Some of the areas that we've had folks help out from Pitzer has been doing worker education and supporting the worker education curriculums that we've been doing some researching both some of the corporate targets that we're engaged with, but also researching some public policy and some other issues that might affect warehouse workers. Sometimes producing reports, sometimes producing internal memoranda that we use. We've had some students actually help out with organizing, actually getting out and talking to workers. At this point, most of the work is virtual, so it'll probably be more over the phone, but there's definitely space for that. So we'd definitely be interested in talking to you about what you're interested in doing. There's also, potentially some work around the public policy work that we do, researching policies that, that benefit workers, or potential policies, especially around health and safety and the pace of work, which is a key issue for us. And then finally, there's some overlap that we have with the environmental justice movement in terms of dealing with the, logistics sector, the fact that it's such a huge producer of greenhouse emissions and, fundamentally unsustainable. So we're really looking at policy opportunities to convert that industry into something that's sustainable. So if you're interested in that kind of research, we're definitely looking into that as well. So we're really interested in hearing from you. Let us know if you would like to intern with us, and I'm sure Tessa will send you our contact info. Thank you.